Hi, it's Dana. I wanted to do a project share of this next tassel I'm making. Again, these are the tops from Hobby Lobby from Sewology. I originally, now they only sell them in gold and silver, but I had bought the antique gold and I had a lot of antique gold stuff because I like that. And so I made another tassel. I'm not sure if you saw my first tassel. This is the second one. I'm zoomed in a little bit and I'm going to zoom in just a hair more so that I can show you some details. I hope that you can see good. All right. I hope this is not blurry. I'm going to pull the camera over just a hair. Got an ink stain there. Okay. So I wanted to show what charms I had tied together. I had dyed the seam binding, and so I made a few things that I have added on. So this piece, I have this coppery chain with one of those giant gem ball things. And these are those in jewelry findings on AliExpress. They have those little metal filigree pieces. And this is actually 3 of them. I don't know if that shows or not, but I glossy accented these together. I bent them so the bodies are all touching, and then I put a jump ring through 2 of them on the tip of the wing and just attached it to this and here and tied it because I kind of like the look of the tied off part. I am going to trim that down a little bit and fray it out a little so that it looks more shabby. I like that whole shabby look. So, okay. So the next piece I just tied on a key to. The next one I put one of those little choker bits like you would put on a choker chain that you clamp together. And I just hooked a bail to it that I had added a glossy accent acrylic flower to. This is just a little pearly rose. Then I added a piece of this plastic pearly stuff, but I think I'm going to trim it down a hair more. I keep cutting little pieces off as I go because I know I can't put it back once it's cut off, so I don't want to trim too much off at once. This is kind of cool. Same thing. It was one of the Ali jewelry pieces, and I glossy accented multiples together so that they were thicker. But it had these 2 holes in the middle where you could attach it to something or sew it onto something. So, you know what? I attached a ring to it and this little rose charm. So I kind of like that. And then at the bottom, I added this little acrylic rose charm. And again, I tied it on. Let's see. Next is this. Again, these come in a chain of gems. I think I got that at Joann's, but it is mounted on an antique gold or brass type metal. So I just added a few spacers here and a key at the bottom. They already have the holes in them where they're attached to each other. They come in like a bracelet size, hung in strung beads. And then I just attached a little key to that one. The next one, I just put a couple of pearls with a rondelle in between. The next one, I think this turned out to be my favorite one. This is, again, the filigree metal pieces from AliExpress, and I have used glossy accents to glue them together for strength. I glued an acrylic rosebud onto the center, which was just flat, and then I used the same color brass or antique gold bulb pen. But what I did was I pinched this closed so it cannot pop open. I pinched this closed with pliers so that nobody will get poked and it won't just come off. And then I did the same thing with this bulb pen. I went ahead and just pinched it off, and you can see where it's crushed, like literally with pliers, so it will never pop open and poke somebody. And then I just attach the two bulb pins to each other. I threw a few buttons on just for the heck of it because I thought they were pretty buttons and they kind of went with the pink rose, and then tied it off again onto the dyed seam binding. This is a little long. I would like it to, I'm going through cutting them at angles and just fraying them out a little bit as I go. And that's just, I can do that on the final touches type stuff once I've got everything attached as it should be. The next thing is this. This is a piece of that rosary bead. I put a charm that says, live for the moments you cannot put into words. I made a little, this antique gold doesn't look near as sharp as when you're on a gold head pin or eye pin. But I went ahead and put some of these faceted beads on here and a little high heel charm with, it's got little rhinestones on the back of the heel. I don't know if that's going to show up very good. So I thought that was cute, and I like the little noise it makes. On the other end of that is one of those fairy keys, and I made another pin, but I went ahead and put this white and gold faceted, this is a glass bead and another glass bead, but this has got a real pretty pink iridescent finish and a pearl. And then this last one, I thought, I wanted to do something a little different, not just beads. So I found some big buttons, and I thought this one's kind of pretty because it's got like a pearly finish. And this one's kind of pretty because it's got that marbly finish. So, and since they were both neutral, I thought, okay. So I found this big, it's not real bright gold and it's not real antique gold. It's kind of in between. So I stuck that on there with a couple of pearls and a little spacer and antique gold and just tied a knot. So once I've tied everything together, where's my end here? This is, look, I got this in the way. That's what was holding it. This is what it looks like. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now, what I will do is I will have to attach it to the top, which again, this has these two little screws. I know my picture is not super clear because I'm zoomed in, but it has these two little screws. And so what I'll do is I'll screw out the one at the bottom first. Let me get rid of this. And so, sorry, my fan's making a weird noise over here. And so I'm going to screw, you can see down in there a little bit. Let me see, I'll bring the light over. You see down inside there? I'm going to screw this almost all the way out. I think what I'm going to do, because there's a nice space in between these two, is I'm going to try to add a drop of glue before I take this and shove it up in there. That's the technical term, shove it. I don't know how this is going to fit. This is a problem with this on there, the rosary beads. What I may have to do is I may actually have to take these off and just put them on a chain, a regular chain, or even a couple of jump rings. I might be able to just break those beads too with some pliers or some wire cutters. Let me see if I can snap this bead. It's gonna slide. Yeah, I don't know if I can snap this bead off or not. Maybe if I got a hold of it from the side. Yeah. No. Well, it's starting to cut. Well, for heaven's sakes. So slowly but surely, that's gonna, I really need one of these to break. Boy, that's stubborn, isn't it? Well, I don't want to necessarily hit it with a hammer, but I'm sure there are easier ways to get this bead off too. I could just unravel the whole thing and take the bead off, and that's probably my best option as opposed to just trying to break it off, is just to take it off. So I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll just take this bead off, straighten this out. Oh, for heaven's sakes, Dana. I'm going to straighten that out and just, I may have to take a couple of beads, not really sure. But just to make room in that cap. And I'm going to double loop that to make sure that doesn't come out. So I think once there's room for everything, yeah, I might have to take one more off. But I think it'll be okay. And it'll fit up in here. Yeah. So as you can see, that now fits up in there. So what I'll need to do is get some glue in the inside part, jam this back in there, and somehow see if I can get this screw screwed in. I don't know if I'll be able to get that one in or just that one. I know I'll be able to get this one in by moving things around out of the way. This one, not so sure that's going to be doable, but it's worth a try. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I can get it through there. If not, it's okay, because I'll still have the bottom one to secure it. So I'm okay with that, but I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. I really like the idea of the bulb pins, and you can crush them closed. I like these Tim Holtz sentiment tags on there. I love this. This is maybe my second favorite. I love these giant charmy things. And the butterfly, I think the butterfly turned out so good. I'm so pleased. So I'm really happy with the way everything came out, particularly this. I love this big flower, but anyway, that's my project share. I'm going to work on getting this assembled now so that everything, hopefully, is going to be nice and secure up in the top of my tassel holder. So thanks for watching. This is Dana, TGIF.